Okay, class. So let's proceed to your next module. Ano? So we have here your module number 4 in Calculus 1, Math 171. So ang ating module number 4 is the derivative of algebraic functions using three-step rule. So actually, iba-iba yung rule na yan. So we have three-step rule, yung pinakauna, which is the longest process or longest steps or longest way in determining the derivative of algebraic functions. So actually, meron ding chain rule, we have the power rule. So may iba-ibang rule yan na may encounter nyo dito sa ating differential calculus. So first, we will be discussing the three-step rule. So ang objective natin dito is for you to define and illustrate incremental variable. Sir, ano ang increment? So mamaya papakita natin. Actually, na-discuss na natin siya, napahapyawan na natin siya sa previous modules, but the difference is, hindi natin siya tinawag na increment. Okay, so another objective is for you to find the derivative of a function using the three-step rule. And lastly, for you to relate the concept of slope and rate of change to the derivative using the three-step rule. So later may encounter nyo din yung concept ng slope ulit. Pero dito iba naman yung approach niya. Kumbaga doon sa equation of a line na may nabanggit na about sa slope. But here in differential calculus, medyo iba lang yung approach niya. Okay, so rate of change, explain din later. Okay, so let's proceed to our discussion, to our topic. So the main lesson, the process of finding the derivative of a function, whether algebraic function yan, or trigonometric, or even exponential or logarithmic, it is called differentiation. So process ang differentiation ha. Okay, differentiation. Process po. Process. Process of finding the derivative of a function. Okay. And the branch of calculus dealing with this process is differential calculus. So everything inside differential calculus is about differentiation. Okay, so ang mga problems dyan is mostly ang tinatanong, find the derivative of this function. O kaya, ayun, usually mga ganon. O kaya mag-solve tayo ng mga rate of change using differentiation. Okay, so yun yung mga ginagawa natin. So mapa-algebraic, trigonometric, exponential, and logarithmic functions pa yan. Which is na-encounter nyo na sa previous topics natin na sa P1. Anyway, we have the so-called increments. So an increment of x denoted by the symbol delta x. So ito is na-encounter nyo na noong discussion natin sa module 2. Ang tawag natin dyan is change of x nung huli. A change of in x that it increases or decreases from one value, x is equal to x sub 0, to another value of x, x sub 1. So, ayan, delta x. So, nabanggit ko din na delta x ang basa din dyan. So, sabi dito, di ba, it is the change daw from x sub 0 to x sub 1. Okay, so para malaman natin yung delta x na yun, dapat alam natin yung x sub 1 and x sub 0. Okay, parang ito ay yung final value ng x. Ito ay initial value ng x. So, yung change in x, ito yung ibinago ng ating x value. Yung in-increase niya. Okay, so similarly, change in y denotes an increment of y. We know that y is a dependent variable in x. X is an independent variable. So kapag nagbago yung x, independent si y kay x, hindi ba? So magbabago din yung y. Magkakaroon siya ng increment. Magkakaroon siya ng change. So yan. Suppose y is equal to f of x. A change delta x in x produces a corresponding delta y in y. So gana sabi natin, pag nagbago si x, susunod si y. Pag nagka-change si x, magkakaroon ng change si y. Okay. So ayan. So kung yung y natin na function, dadagdagan natin siya. Di ba ito yung ating function? Okay. So meron tayong x value. Pag yung x value na yan is nagkaroon ng delta x, automatic ang ating y is magkakaroon din ng change. Kaya tayo nagkaroon ng ganitong equation. So, sana nasundan. Okay. So, pwede natin gawin itong y na ito, which is yung given function, is dalhin natin sa kabilang side. Now, we have delta y is equal to f of x plus delta x minus our given function. Okay. So, sabi din dito, but since y is equal to f of x, then we have the relation. Yung y po dito, i-substitute lang natin yung f of x na binibigay sa atin sa problem. Okay? So kung i-illustrate natin ang ating function, ito yung graph ng ating f of x. Ito ay assumption lang, okay? Kumbaga general graph ng isang function. Okay. So ito ang graph ng ating f of x. And we have here the initial value of x, which is x is equal to 1. Example lang yun, class, ha? So, yung graph natin is papataas. Nagbago yung x value natin sa point na to, naging 6. Okay? X is equal to 6. Kasi nakatapat siya sa 6, as you can see ito. Okay? So, in-illustrate lang natin. Ayan. So, may binigay na example dyan. So, ito, ngayon, pag muna tayo sa example para hindi kayo malito. So, yung una, meron tayong x is equal to 1, di ba, sa graph. And then, we have x is equal to 6 after ng graph natin. Ano. Ngayon, kung mapapansin nyo, from this point to this point, ayan, meron tayong delta x or change in x. So, yun yung binago ng x natin. From 1, naging 6 siya. So, pwede natin sabihin, delta x, ang ibinago ng x value is 6 minus 1. Yan ay 5. Kumbaga, tumaas yung x value na 1 ng 5, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng x is equal to 6. Okay? So, pinakita lang natin yung kung saan nakapwesto yung delta x na yun sa ating function pag i-graph po. Ano? Okay. So, as you can see, we also have your delta y. So, nung tumaas, so mula dito, ang value ng y natin dyan is 1, hindi ba? Okay? E tumaas yung graph natin. Nagkaroon tayo ng y is equal to 4. Ito siya, 4 nakatapat doon. Okay? So as you can see, nagkaroon tayo ng increment in y. Tumaas siya. Di ba tumaas siya? So ito ngayon yung ating delta y. So parang delta y is equal to yung final value na 4 minus 1. Ito ay naging 3. Yung delta y is 3. Nag-increase ang y value na 1 ng tatlong unit. Kaya naging 4 siya. Okay? Sige, explain ko lang kung saan pwesto ni delta y and delta x. So let's proceed to our example. Okay, class. For us to be able to understand more our topic, so let's proceed to our example. So first, we have example number 1. If function of x or if y is equal to x squared, okay, then y plus delta y is equal to x plus delta x squared, and delta y is equal to x plus delta x squared minus x squared. Sir, anong nangyari? Bakit naging ganon? Okay, so okay, huwag niyo munang pansinin itong ating solution na binigay ng module. So let's try to analyze piece by piece yung ating problem. So binigyan tayo ng function which is y is equal to x squared. Okay. So kanina, yung meron tayong formula, may binanggit kanina na kapag nagkaroon ng change in x, pag nagkaroon ng change in x, magkakaroon ng change in y. So ngayon, nag-add tayo ng change in y, di ba? Kasi nag-add tayo ng change in x. So sir, bakit may squared? Kasi ito na yung ating given function. Okay? So ito yung function natin. So itong y natin, dinagdagan natin ng change in y. Okay? So syempre, itong x value natin, nadagdagan, meron na yan change in x kasi nga nagkaroon na tayo ng change in y. Therefore, x plus change in x, then may squared. Okay? So, gaya ng ginawa natin kanina, yung y nilipat natin sa kabila para makuha yung value ng change in, gaya ng ginawa natin kanina, yung y or the original function given to us as a problem, tinransfer natin yan sa kabilang side. Okay, so dito ay x plus x or delta x squared and then yung given y. So, ngayon, yung y na to, palitan natin noong x squared para maka in terms of x lahat ng ating equation sa kabilang side minus x squared. Ayan. So, eto na yung, kaya naging ganun yung binigay na value na to. Okay? Ganyan lang yun. Ganyan lang siya. So, dito naman sa ating second example, if a is equal to pi r squared, then, ayan, yung a ang ating y value dyan. And then, nagkaroon ng change in a, nung nagkaroon ng change in r. Okay? Pero dito kasi, sa ating problem, ang r is yung x natin kanina. Okay, so naiiba lang yung variable natin pero same approach lang siya. Kung si x is the dependent, kung si x ay independent variable kay y, which is the independent variable, dito sa example number 2, ang a natin ang ating dependent variable sa ating independent variable na r. Okay, so habang tumataas si r, syempre, tumataas din si a. Ano? Okay, kaya kapag nagkaroon tayo ng change in A, automatic meron niyang change in R. Okay? Pi R squared. Pi R, change in R squared. Okay? So, itong A, lipat mo sa kabila. Change in A is equal to pi R plus delta R squared plus, minus A. Okay. So, as you can see, A, or ito ay A is equal to pi R plus delta R squared minus pi R squared. So, sir, bakit iba yung nandun sa module dun sa sinod natin sa right side? Siguro na ano lang to, type ko lang tong portion na ito. Okay? So, supposedly, siguro, ano yan, delta R, which is yun yung ginamit natin. Okay, doon lang tayo nag-add sa R kasi ang pi ay constant. Tinitreat natin as constant ang pi. Tinitreat natin siya as number, hindi siya variable. Okay? Kaya sa R lang tayo nag-add ng delta. Okay, kasi variable siya, doon lang may change. Okay, so I hope clear tayo doon. Okay, so proceed tayo sa derivative of functions. So dito, kukuha na tayo ng derivative. Okay, so let the function f given by y is equal to f of x be a continuous function of x in some interval containing x. Recall that in the preceding section, we said that a change delta x in the independent variable x produces a corresponding change delta y in the independent variable y. So ulitin ko lang, kapag nagkaroon ng delta x or change in x sa ating x, automatic po magkakaroon din ng change in y, si variable y. Okay? So, huwag malilito doon. Ano? So, ito ulit yung formula at equation na nagawa natin kanina. Ayan. So, y plus change in y is equal to f of x plus change in x. Okay. Or, pwede natin ilipat nga si y sa kabilang side, magiging f of x siya. If we devote both members by delta x, we have, ayan, divide lang natin siya both side of the equation ng delta x. Okay. Divide lang natin siya. Then, baba ko lang. Note that this ratio is the difference of the function values divided by the difference of the x values. For this reason, it is often called 2 as the difference quotient. So tawag po dito ay difference quotient. So yan, difference of the function values divided by the difference of the x values. Okay. So tatandaan nyo lang itong difference quotient. So it also denotes the average rate of change of f of x between x and x plus delta x. That is, delta y over delta x is a measure of the rate at which y is the change with respect to x, or with respect to x for the interval of delta x. So itong equation natin na ito, average rate of change daw ng function natin. Average rate change ng ating function y. Okay? Between x and x plus delta x. So medyo nakakalito, hindi ba? So ibabalik ko lang doon sa graph natin kanina. Ito, di ba? So isusulat ko dito yung equation natin na delta x is equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x. So ayan, sabi dito, it is the average change daw ng y with respect doon sa change in x. So ayan. So ito yung formula o yung equation na nabuo natin kanina. And itong equation na to, class, is the difference quotient. Often referred daw siya as difference quotient. Okay, difference quotient. Dinedenote din natin itong equation na to as the average rate of change of the function between itong x value na to and then itong x value dito. Kaya alam natin na yung x value sa portion na to is simply equal dito sa x. Then idadagdag natin tong rate of, dadagdag natin yung change in x. So itong pagitan na ito, yung pagitan natin dito, dinedetermine natin yung change ng function dyan. I-explain to, hirap i-explain. Okay, so binalik ko lang kanina yung graph natin. So we have here the delta y over delta x is equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x. So ito yung kaninang na-derive natin na equation, formula. Okay, balik tayo sa graph. And we know that in this point, di ba, ito ang x natin dyan is simply x. Okay, or 1. Basta simple x ang value ng x sa point na ito. So pagdating mo dito sa point na ito, or sa point mo na to, sa function natin, alam natin ang value nito ay, no, x value niya is, o x final value niya is x plus delta x, di ba? Meaning nagbago yung x value natin sa ating function. So, ito kasi yung equation, ano, yung formula na na-derive natin or the difference quotient na tinatawag din natin. Ito daw ay, ang ibig sabihin nito, it is the rate of change of our y or rate of change of our function with respect to change in x. Okay? So, dito ginagamit natin tong equation na to para malaman kung gaano nagbago ang ating function with respect to x values. So, syempre, nagbago yung x natin. So, susunod ang ating y values. Okay, so gagamitin natin to get the derivative. So by definition, derivative kasi it is the rate of change. Okay. So I hope I know medyo confusing yung part na to, but you could just simply think in this way na uh, kinukuha natin yung rate of change or kinukuha natin kung gaano nagbago yung y values with respect sa change ng x. Okay, pwede niyo isipin na gano'n para hindi kayo malito. So that is delta y. That is delta y over delta x is a measure of the rate at which y is changed with respect to x for the interval of delta x. Suppose we regard x as fixed and then let delta x vary and approach 0. Then we define the expression limit of delta y over delta x as delta x approaches 0 or limit, ayan, so f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x as delta x approaches 0 as the instantaneous rate of change. Instantaneous is tuloy-tuloy. Okay? Instantaneous rate of change of f of x at x or simply the rate of change of f of x at x. Sir, ano yun? Hindi namin na-gets. So, basta alam nyo kung saan ginagamit yung binigay natin na formula kanina, itong part na to, itong mahaba sa taas. Ito. Yan. Basta yan ay sinusukat lang natin ang rate of change ng y with respect sa change in x natin. Okay? So sabi dito, fundamental definition. Okay, ulitin lang ulit natin. The derivative of y, o yan yung dy, or sinusulat din natin siya na d of y, with respect to x over dx, or d of x. Yan, parehas lang yan, class. Is the limit of the ratio. So limit of the ratio delta y, equal yan ha. Equal to delta x when x approaches 0. Delta x. Okay. So ayan, nire-write ko lang siya. Ayan din yan. Okay. So for different cases, may encounter niyo iba-ibang symbol ng ating derivatives. First, we have d sub y over d sub 2. Ito ay equal sa y prime. Okay? So, pwede din f prime of x. O, derivative din yan. Pare-parehas lang yan. O kaya d of y in terms of x, pwede rin. O kaya pwede din yan. O, pili na lang kayo. And reminder, kung ano yung nanditong katabi ng d, dapat yun din yung value ng, so tatandaan kung ano yung nandito sa taas, yan, katabi ng d sa taas, dapat yun din yung nandun sa function na ibibigay sa atin. Halimbawa, y is equal to x squared. O d, yan ay dy over dx. Yung x naman na to, make sure na yung independent variable mo is x. Eh sir, paano kung z is equal to b squared? Variable tong parehas. O, magiging derivative of z over db. Okay? O kaya naman z prime. O pwede din na f prime of b. O yan, pare-parehas lang yan. O d of z over db. Yan, pare-parehas lang yan, class. So dapat nakaayon itong mga variables natin sa ating function. Okay? So let's proceed dun sa binabanggit natin kaninang three-step rule. And I hope medyo gets na. O gets na yung concept ng ating derivative. So let's proceed to our three-step rule. Okay, let's proceed to our three-step rule. In finding the derivative of a function y is equal to f of x, based on the definition of the derivative dy over dx, or the rate of change the rate of change of y in terms of rate of change in x, equal daw siya sa limit of delta y over delta x as delta x approaches 0. Equal din siya doon sa binigay sa atin kanina na value ng delta y over delta x, which is the limit of f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x as delta x approaches 0. We can write the steps in solving the derivative. So, dito sa 3-step rule, yun, gaya na sabi, 3 steps. So, may 3 steps tayo dito na susundin in order for us to get the derivative of the given function. So, first, write down the expression for f of x plus delta x minus f of x and simplify. So, pag binigyan tayo ng function, kunin natin muna ito. Okay? So, i-substitute natin itong x plus delta x sa lahat ng x values ng ating given function and then i-minus natin yung mismong given function. Okay? Next, divide the result in step 1. Kung ano makuha natin dito, i-divide natin sa delta x. And again, simplify. Okay, para hindi tayo mahirapan sa hindi tayo mahirapan sa dulo, at para hindi tayo mahirapan sa dulo, kailangan natin simplify lagi yung mga nakukuha nating values upon doing steps 1 and 2. Okay? For step 3, find the limit of the result in step 2 as delta x approaches 0. Okay? The obtained limit is the derivative of the given function. Okay? So, una, kunin natin yung form na to. Iganito natin yung expression sa expression. Okay? And then, pag nakakuha tayo ng result sa step 1, divide by delta x. And then, pag okay na, gamitin natin yung limit. Kunin natin yung limit using delta x approaches 0. Okay? So, ito siya. Sige, pwede tayo mag-proceed sa ating first example. So, tandaan nyo lang yung 3 steps natin sa 3-step rule. Okay. Okay, class. So, first we have example number 1, f of x equals to x squared minus 5x. So, gaya ng sabi sa step 1 natin kanina, okay, so gamitin natin yung f of x plus delta x minus f of x. So, gamitin natin to based on our given function. Okay? So, sulat lang natin f of x plus delta x minus f of x is equal to lahat ng x value sa ating given function, palitan natin ng x plus delta x. So, kung ito ay x squared, magiging x plus delta x. Huwag kalimutan yung squared sa labas. Minus yung 5. Yung x value sa 5 is magiging x plus delta x. Yung grouping symbol, huwag kalimutan. Itong buo na to, ito yung f of x plus delta x. So next is yung minus f of x, yung given function sa atin. Minus x squared minus 5x. And then we simplify our value. So magiging x squared plus 2x delta x plus delta x squared minus 5x minus 5 delta x. Okay? Minus. Nilabas ko na yung buo Okay? So x squared plus 5x. So upon observation, you will see values na pwede na nating i-cancel out. So isa dyan yung positive x squared minus x squared, which is 0. Yung negative 5x plus 5x is 0 as well. Okay, ang matitira sa atin ay 2x delta x plus delta x squared minus 5 delta x. So as you can see, kada term natin 1, 2, and 3, meron siyang delta x na factor. So pwede nating ilabas yan. So 2x plus delta x minus 5. Okay. So ngayon, meron na tayong value ng ating f of x plus delta x minus f of x, which is hinihingi sa step 1. Okay, so meron na tayo. Ayan, value. Ito na ba yung sagot? Hindi pa. At step 1 pa lang tayo. Step 2. Yung f of x plus delta x minus f of x na nakuha natin, plus, i-divide natin yan sa delta x. So kung itong numerator natin na ito, ang value nating nakuha is delta x times 2x plus delta x minus 5, i-divide natin yan syempre sa delta x. So hiniwalay na natin kanina si delta x. Pinactor out na natin. So pwede natin i-cancel yung numerator and denominator na delta x. Resulting to 2x plus delta x minus 5. So punta tayo sa ating step 3. Hindi pa tayo tapos. 3-step rule yan. So step 3, anong sabi? Yung limit ng nakuha natin sa step 2, which is 2x plus delta x minus 5, as x o delta x approaches 0, so substitute lang natin sa x value yung 0. Okay? Isa-substitute lang natin yung 0 sa delta x. Okay? So yung 2x, substitute ba natin yung x, yung 0 sa x? Hindi, sa delta x lang yan. So plus, o yung 0 na delta x minus 5 equals 2x minus 5. Ito na ba sagot natin? Ito na yung sagot natin. Nahanap natin ang derivative ng given function na x squared minus 5x, which is 2x minus 5. Okay. So medyo maikli pa. Okay? So mahalaga na kabisado natin ang ating steps. So therefore, derivative of f of x in terms of x is equal to 2x minus 5. Okay. So ganito ang isasagot nyo ha, kung nasa dulo, hindi ito. Hindi ito. Ganitong form. Okay. So if walang question, or if may question and hindi nagigets yung topic, pakibalikan, pakipause ang ating video. Okay, let's proceed to our next example, example number 2. So we have here y is equal to 1 over x minus 3. Pinapahanap yung derivative ng y in terms of x using 3-step rule. Okay. Step 1 ulit tayo. So kunin natin ang f of x plus delta x minus f of x ng ating function. Okay, so equals 1 over, o yung x natin nag-iisa ay x plus delta x minus 3. So anong gagawin natin dyan? And then huwag kalimutan yung ating original function na 1 over x minus 3. So paano ang gagawin natin? Kunin natin ang LCD. So ito pwede kasing isang buo na to eh. Therefore, pag kinuha natin yung LCD, magiging x plus delta x minus 3 times x minus 3. Okay. So x plus delta x minus 3 times x minus 3 divided by x plus delta x minus 3 is 1 times x minus 3. O minus. Atong denominator natin yung LCD divided by x minus 3, ang makukuha natin as x plus delta x minus 3. Okay. So simplifying, we will have x minus 3 minus x minus delta x plus 3 over x plus delta x minus 3 over x minus 3. Okay. Pwede pa yan i-simplify. Meron tayong x minus x, which is cancel. We have negative 3 and positive 3. Cancel, 0 yan. Therefore, we will have negative delta x over x plus delta x minus 3 times x minus 3. So meron na tayo for step 1. Box out ko lang para hindi tayo maligaw. Then proceed tayo sa step number 2. Kung ano daw yung nakuha sa step number 1, i-divide natin into delta x. Divided by delta x. So nakuha natin is negative delta x over x plus delta x minus 3. X minus 3. I-divide natin yung buo na yan sa delta x. And we know na po pwede natin i-multiply itong dalawa na to. Ito itong dalawa na to pwede. So magiging negative delta x over delta x times x plus delta x minus 3, x minus 3. So as you can see, pwede natin i-cancel out itong delta x sa delta x sa baba. Leading us into x plus delta x minus 3 times x minus 3, negative 1, huwag kakalimutan. So now we have the result in step 2. Okay? And last step, step number 3. So kunin natin daw yung limit ng ating result na nakuha sa step 2. So sa substitute ko na agad, negative 1 over x plus delta x minus 3, then x minus 3 as x, or delta x approaches 0. Okay. So negative 1 over x plus 0 minus 3, and x minus 3. We know that it will be equal to x minus 3, x minus 3, or negative 1 over x minus 3, but squared. Okay? So I hope clear ang ating process. Okay? So box ko lang yung result ng step 3. Therefore, our answer, derivative of y in terms of x is equal to negative 1 x minus 3 squared. Okay, so ito ang sagot natin. Okay, so medyo mahaba lang. Dapat alam niyo yung mga cancel. Dapat yung mga sign babantayan niyo. Okay, so let's proceed to another example. Okay, using the step rule. Okay, so here in our given, we have y is equal to square root of x. So proceed tayo sa step 1 agad. Sige. Okay, so f of x plus delta x minus f of x. Okay, so we have square root of x plus delta x minus square root of x. So meron pa ba tayong pwedeng i-simplify dyan? Try natin mag-rationalize ng numerator. So multiply natin ito sa square root of x plus delta x plus square root of x over square root of x plus delta x plus square root of x. Ito ay may nakatago na 1. Okay, so yan, minultiply na natin, i-rationalize natin yung numerator natin. So ito, alam natin portion na to, saka ito, pag pinag-multiply natin yan, ito ay magiging x plus delta x na lang, di ba? So ito kasing setup natin is, papasok siya sa difference of two squares. Okay? So minus, itong x, square root of x, saka yung square root of x, pag pinag-multiply natin yan, ay x lang yan. Okay? So square root of x plus delta x plus square root of x. Okay. So, ang pwede natin gawin dyan is pwede pa natin i-simplify yan. We know that this x can be cancelled out. Itong dalawang x pwede i-cancel out dyan. Leaving us with delta x, square root of x plus delta x plus square root of x. So, ngayon, meron tayong result sa step 1. Punta tayo sa step 2. Divide natin yung nakuha natin sa step 1 sa delta x. Dadirect ko na siya, itatabi ko na agad yung delta x dun sa denominator natin. Paste over delta x. And we know that this delta x can be cancelled out, leaving us with square root of x plus delta x plus square root of x. Yung numerator nyo na 1. Okay? So meron na tayong result ng step 2. Sa step 3 naman, kunin natin yung limit ng nakuha natin sa step 2. Okay? Limit of 1 over square root of x plus delta x plus square root of x. As delta x approaches 0. Okay, so alam natin, itong square root magiging x plus 0 plus square root of x, yung numerator na 1. Therefore, we will have square root of x plus square root of x. And pwede natin i-simplify itong dalawang square root of x magiging 2 square root of x. So, ito na ang result natin sa step 3. Therefore, derivative of y in terms of x is equal to 1 over 2 square root of x using the 3-step rule. Okay. So, last example natin dito sa ating 3-step rule. So, we have here y is equal to y is equal to sine x. Wherein pinapahanap sa atin ang dy over dx using 3-step rule. Okay? So, gaya na sabi natin kanina, ang ina-applyan natin ang kinukuha natin ng derivatives is mga algebraic functions, logarithmic, exponential, and as well as trigonometric functions. So, yun, ulitin lang natin yung ginagawa nating process. So, step 1 ulit tayo. Kunin natin ang ating f of x minus delta plus delta x minus f of x equals sine x, magiging x plus delta x yan, minus sine x. Okay. And one of the, ayan, pwede tayong, ayan, meron na tayo, di bang sagot? Na sine of x plus delta x minus sine x. Ang gagawin natin dyan is, mag-e-introduce tayo ng identities. Okay, so sine of A plus B is equal to sine A cosine B plus cosine A sine B. So, ito is identity. Okay? Isang form siya ng identity. Trigonometric identity. So, kabisaduhin niyo siya. Okay? So, pahapyaw lang kasi may counter natin to sa ibang math subject natin dito sa subject natin. Okay? So, ang technique dyan is sin, cos, cosine. Okay, pwede nyo isipin na gano'n. Sin, cos, cosine. Tapos, kung ano ang nandito sa gitna ng A and B, yun din yung nandyan sa gitna nila sa kabila. Sin, cos, cosine, kung plus sa kabila, plus din sa kanan. Okay, tapos AB, AB. Okay, so pwede nyo isipin yan. Anyway, okay, substitute natin dito yan. Saan natin ilalagay yan? Dito natin siya ipapalit. Okay? Sige, ilagay natin. O, sine. Ang A natin na dito sa ating solution is yung X. Okay? Wherein yung A and B kasi na yan, class, is yan is angle. Okay, angle yung mga yan. Anyway, ayan. Sine X cosine delta X plus cosine X sine delta X. O, huwag kalimutan yung sine X. Okay? So, anong next natin na gagawin dyan? Ang tawag pala dito sa ating identity na to is sum of two angles. Okay? Marami yan, apat yan. Pakihanap na lang class. Apat or dalawa. Okay? Sum of two angles. Ngayon, pwede natin i-simplify ang ating sagot. We have sine x. We have sine x sa dalawa nating term. Ito, saka ito. So, ihiwalay natin si cosine x, sine delta x. Okay, minus sine x. Okay, plus sige. Plus sine x. Okay, ito muna. Magkakaroon dyan ng cosine delta x. Ang part na to, minus 1. Okay? Or po pwede din maging cosine x, sine delta x, minus sine x, negative cosine delta x plus 1. Magkakabaligtad yung sign. Okay? Kumbaga, naglabas tayo ng negative sign from inside ng parenthesis. Okay, rewrite ko lang ulit. Cosine x, sine delta x, minus sine x. Babalik-tarin ko lang yung dalawa sa loob ng parenthesis. Okay, so in trigonometry, babalik tayo ng konti sa trigonometry, we have this another identities. Okay, sine squared A, wherein A is the angle. Okay, 1/2 times 1 minus cosine 2A. Okay, identities din yan. So ngayon, saan natin ito gagamitin? Pwede natin yung gamitin, i-manipulate ko lang ang ating identities. Pwede kong i-cross multiply yung 2 doon sa sine squared A. 2 sine squared A is equal to 1 minus cosine 2A. So as you can see, these identities, kahawig niya to, di ba? Ang kaibahan lang, 2A yung angle dito. And then angle dito is delta x. So i-adapt yung delta x doon sa ating identities. So as you can see sa problem natin, may kahawig siya dito sa ating identity na binigyan na manipulate natin, dinerive natin. So as you can see, ito yung kamukha niyang part, yung 1 minus cosine 2A, meron tayong 1 minus cosine delta x. Ngayon, itong 2A, equal yan sa delta x. Okay, so in order for us to get the value of A or angle A, divide natin both side by 2. Therefore, A is equal to delta x over 2. Okay, so ngayon, ito ang 1 minus cosine delta x, palitan natin ito. Okay, so rewrite ko lang. Cosine x sine delta x minus sine x. Okay, yung 2 sine squared. Yung A, palitan na natin ng delta x over 2. Okay. I hope clear po yun. Ano? So, po pwede kong gawin, ilalabas ko lang yung 2. Magiging cosine x sine delta x minus 2. Ay, yung 2 na to. Okay. 2 sine x sine squared, grouping symbol, delta x over 2. Okay. So ngayon, yan na ba yun? Yan na yung result natin sa step 1. Step 1 pa lang tayo, mahaba na. Okay. Yung nakuha natin sa step 1, i-divide natin sa delta x. So we have f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x. So we will have cosine x sine delta x minus 2 sine x sine squared delta x over 2 all over delta x. So ang pwede natin gawin dyan is paghihiwalayin natin ang ating Itong first part, ito, saka ito. Okay. Sige, paghiwalayin natin yung dalawa. Kakaroon tayo ng cosine x sine delta x over 4x, ay 4x, delta x, minus 2 sine x. Etong nandito sa loob ng parentheses, pwede kong paghiwalayin din yan. Sine delta x over 2 times sine delta x over 2. Okay. And then, delta x. Rewrite ko ulit yung ating solution. Cosine x, sine delta x over delta x. And yung 2, pwede kong ibaba dito. Dito sa portion na yan. Diyan ko ilalagay. So, magiging delta x over 2. Sine x, sine delta x over 2. Sine delta x over 2. Okay. Okay, next is pwede pa natin i-rewrite yung equation natin o yung solution natin into this way. Okay? Minus sine x. Okay? So, pwedeng hiwalay din to na sine delta x over 2. And then, matitira dito yung sine of delta x over 2 over delta x over 2. Pwede ba ito i-cancel? Hindi. Yung delta x over 2, saka yung nasa babang delta x over 2. Hindi pwede i-cancel yun dahil meron tayong trigonometric function na sine. Okay. So, medyo babalik ulit tayo sa mga topic natin. Okay? Kaya na yung huling solution natin. Punta tayo doon sa mga theorem na nabanggit during our discussion in limits. So, we know that limits of sine alpha over alpha, given that alpha is in radians, alpha approaches 0, automatically equal yan sa 1. So, limit of sine delta x as delta x ay over delta x as delta x approaches 0, automatic yan ay 1. Given that delta x is in radians, okay? And then limit of sine delta x over 2 over delta x over 2 as delta x approaches 0 ay equal sa 1. Okay, so bakit tayo naglagay ng ganito? So kung titingnan natin dito sa ating solution, itong portion na ito is ito yun, di ba? Ayan. So pwede nating i-equate na yan sa 1. Pwede nating i-equate yung sine delta x over delta x sa 1. Okay? Equals cosine x times yung 1. O minus sine x times sine delta x over 2. And then ito ay 1 din. Therefore, we will have cosine x minus sine x times sine delta x over 2 as the result in step 2. Okay, punta tayo sa step 3. Kunin natin yung limit ng ating result in step 2 as delta approaches 0. Okay? Limit of cosine x minus sine x sine delta x over 2 as delta x approaches 0. Okay. Yung cosine 0, lagay natin. Minus sine 0 times sine. So now we substitute the value of 0 sa ating delta x. So we have cosine x minus sine x times sine 0 over 2. Ito ay 0. So cosine x minus sine x times sine 0. Ito ay 0 lang din. Okay, so therefore we will have, ito ay, kung 0 ito ay 0 na din. Therefore, we will have cosine x as the result in step 3. Okay? Therefore, the derivative of our given function y in terms of x is cosine x. Okay. So I hope clear ang ating examples in 3-step rule. So ang mga binalikan natin, scroll ko lang sa taas, is yung ating trigonometric identities na sum of two angles. Okay, ginamit natin yan. Next, yung isa pang identities, yung sine squared a, ginamit din natin yan. Kumuha tayo ng value ng a. So kung medyo naguluhan sa part na to, balikan lang yung video ng paulit-ulit. Okay? And then after getting a value in step 1, we proceed to step 2. Okay? Yung step 2 is, hindi ko nalagay pala. Okay, ito yung step 2. Okay? And then after step 2, gumamit tayo doon sa step 2, gumamit tayo ng theorem. Okay? Pag nakakita kasi tayo ng ganito, ayan, nakakita tayo ng ganito na equal yung kanilang denominator doon sa angle. Given that these angles are, given that this angle is in radians, equal na yan agad sa 1. Okay, same goes with the sine delta x do sa problem natin sa solution. And then do sa sine delta x over 2 over delta x over 2 is 1 din na po yun. Kaya kung napapansin nyo, in-equate natin sa 1. Okay. So after step 2, of course, we proceed to step 3 wherein we get the limit of the result from step 2. And then, nung sinimplify natin yung sagot natin, we have cosine x as the value of derivative of y in terms of x.